which I'm more familiar with. Okay, to study a 1-year master's in the UK, your tuition fees a year is about £27,000, which is about 21 million a year. That is the average, because we have universities like Oxford and the Russell Group universities, which have fees over £35,000. We should be between 28 and 29 million a year. And your stipend is about 20,000 a year. That's a huge amount. If you divide that by 12 months, it's about £1,600 a month minimum, which is about 1.2 million a month, which is given to you as your stipend. If you're there for 12 months, multiply that by 12, which in total, the scholarship is willing to give you between 16 and 17 million to spend in the UK. For scholarships like the Commonwealth Scholarship and the Chevening, they cover what we call the immigration health surcharge, which is your health insurance in the UK. And the cost of that is not cheap. It's about £1,114, which is approximately 891. We don't even take insurance in Cameroon, so it's difficult to understand this. But there, they have to insure you for your health. You go to the hospital for free if you're sick, by the way, but you call it for free, but it has been paid for, okay? So it's about 891,000, and your flights, they usually pay your return ticket, which is approximately 720,000. They pay your flight from Douala or Yaoundé to the UK and back. And then they provide warm clothing allowance, money for you to buy warm clothes during very cold periods. And to go to the UK, you need to conduct the TB test, tuberculosis test, which you do it and you pay in Cameroon. That money is refunded to you when you get to the UK. And there is usually a taxi to pick you up from the airport to the university. They pay for that, and the total should be about 560,000. So for 1 year, the UK government is willing to invest about £50,000 on you, which is equivalent to about 40 million in 1 year to study in the UK. And if you're going for an undergraduate program, multiply that by 3 or 4 years. They're willing to give you that. And if you're going to the US, it's similar. Those prices are almost the same. Okay? Now, the question is, are you worth 40 million? Has what you've written, is it worth 40 million? That is where you put yourself in context. So the question is, do your aces justify this amount of money to be spent? The average school fees in Cameroon, which is significantly increasing now at the university level, is just 50,000. The fees for 1 year in the university is about 50,000, right? And we are talking about going to a university and your fees is being paid for about 22 million. Why should they give you that money? What makes you so special? It's your aces. It's how you capture your value in your aces. It's how you show that if they put in this money, you will be worth more than that amount. Because nobody puts in money in a business to get out less. They are hoping that if they give you worth 40 million investment, you should be worth more than that when you come out. Be it through your employment, improved employment, be it through your development impact work, be it through improving the lives of other people. They will say this investment is justified. So, do your aces sound like they are worth 40 million? You should be able to answer that question when you're writing your aces. Okay? All right, next, please. So the real question is, To put this in another way, if you had 40 million in your bank account and somebody writes an AC, will you be able to buy that AC for 40 million? This is what this is all about. Because in essence, you're selling yourself. Applying for scholarship and studies is you're selling yourself. And the person who is buying already says, I have 40 million to buy. But you need to convince me that this 40 million is worth, you're worth this 40 million. That amount can be significantly higher. In the US, it's, I think, a bit higher. Because in the US, master's degree is usually 2 years. It's the UK, which is just 1 year. Okay? So, if at any point in time you read through your ACEs and you see that these ACEs are not worth 40 million, please don't be discouraged. What you need to do is to do more research, rewrite. If you're finding challenges, reach out to people to review and comment on your ACEs, to give feedback. Because there are certain things which you will not see while writing, because you're the one standing on this other side. But if another person looks, especially somebody who is more experienced, they will point you to certain aspects which you need to demonstrate more strength in. Okay? So, you should refine your ACEs until your ACEs are able to scream, I am worth this investment. You should refine them. Don't be discouraged. That amount is huge, but there are a lot of living witnesses who've obtained it not once, not twice. I have a friend who had 4 straight scholarships for masters the same year. If you total it, it should be about 200,000 pounds. And that stipend I mentioned is even less compared to some of the scholarships. There are some scholarships which give up to 2,500 pounds a month. That is approximately 1.8 to 2 million francs a month. Now, before I proceed, this is very important. There are certain myths which we need to dispel about scholarships, okay? Don't be scared. Don't look at the numbers and feel discouraged or demotivated. No. There are people who've gone for scholarships for the first time and they've been selected without any rejection. But there are people who've had rejection. I just read one message this morning from a friend in a group who had received 11 rejections in 11 years. He applied for chevening 11 times. And the 12th time, he was selected. That is resilience. That is somebody who did not allow anything to stop them. For some people, first try, they even come in a line and they have to turn down some. As they say, life is not balanced, but it is what it is. But whatever the outcome, you should have the stamina to sustain the disappointments that can come with it. So even during your first time, try. Don't auto-reject. Don't auto-reject yourself. You don't have any NGO experience. A lot of people have made this to become about people who have worked in NGOs. No. If you don't, you need to tell your story. That is what matters. And your grades in school, I need to re-emphasize this. Your grades in school, it's not a life sentence. People have had 25 points and still get rejected. And people have had less than 10 points and they are soaring in scholarships. Your grade is not a life sentence. Your past should not be a crucifixion. As they say, every saint has a past, every sinner has a future. Look forward. It's what you can show that you can do That is what matters. Your background isn't the baggage. What matters is how you connect your experience with the goals, with what you want to achieve. This is very important. Not just for special people. I remember before now, Mr. Golefak already mentioned that scholarships are not for special people. Ordinary people, he said people who've sat here like you are on scholarships in places which even people in that country cannot occupy. There are people who've had scholarships and studied in Harvard, but I can tell you a large proportion of Americans cannot study at Harvard. The same as in Oxford or Cambridge. And they are ordinary people. No, I've never seen somebody who won a scholarship who has two heads. No. It's people who have struggling backgrounds, who've gone through challenges and struggles, but never let their spirits be dampened. This is very, very crucial. Whatever your grades, whatever your performance in the past, it's what your purpose, your new purpose is. That's what matters. There are people who have had scholarships at 45, 50, 60 years. So whatever you are now is not as important as what you can be. If you define your purpose, you know what it takes to achieve that purpose, and you do what it takes. The most important thing is action. But if you take action in the wrong direction, it is the wrong direction, but the good thing is you will learn that it is the wrong direction. Okay. What really matters is a lot of people still get selected. A lot of people still get. Open Dreams is like a pipeline that channels people to opportunities. A lot of people do apply, yes. A lot of people do apply. But a lot of people also get selected. And it's not only for people who've gone to public schools. No, private institutions, private higher learning institutions, you just need to do the right things. You need to do what it takes. And the rules are pretty clear and straightforward. There is no hidden under the table secret where they will say, no, we want these applicants to apply, and then they put all the rules up front for transparency. You are being measured using the same measuring rod as every other applicant. The same scale, you're placed on the same scale. It just happens that some applicants weigh more than others. If you don't have community work yet, apply. But know that you need it. That is the important thing. And then what do? You start doing community work. You start learning to help others solve their problems. That is building the value in you, which they will have to pay during the scholarship. And age doesn't matter. As I just mentioned, you can have up to 50, 60 years, you still have a scholarship. I think in 2022, there was a woman about, I think she was, if not 59, was 69, who was a Chevening scholar. Some people were criticizing that, she's already old, she took opportunity for young people. She lived her dream. She wanted to have a scholarship, and she did. And that is proof that age is not relevant. If you're coming from a diverse background, for instance, you're a refugee, you're a displaced person, you have a disability, or you're coming from a marginalized community, those are points which you need to bring to the fore, because scholarships are now trying to equalize the playing field by giving everybody a chance. Even people with disabilities, people who are refugees. Because you're a refugee should not be a sentence. You should have an opportunity to have a scholarship. And equalizing educational opportunities means identifying those people and giving them the right opportunity. Next, please. So the key takeaway is that a lot of people, when they get this information, they start saying, oh, I should not even try. You are auto-rejecting. Apply, let the commission reject you. Don't auto-reject. Don't self-reject. If you have done your best, submit and know that you've done your best, but be ready to learn. And also somehow be ready to accept the heartbreak that comes with rejection. It's a normal, okay? It's a normal. We are all humans. It happens. So apply and let this commission reject you. So this quote, I think it captures what scholarships are not and what they are. I'm afraid it might sound a bit technical, but we can discuss that. So a scholarship is not a lottery ticket, right? It's not like you just gamble and then it comes to you. No. A scholarship is the blueprint of your future, right? Written with the ink of your past. And it is presented to those who invest in the architects of change. Mean that you use the blueprint. How do I want my future to look like? But I'm writing it based on where I'm coming from. And I'm giving somebody who is ready to invest in people who want to make change. But I want to emphasize that it is the key part is the future. Because if you look at an undergraduate application, you don't have a lot of past to demonstrate yet. But if you demonstrate how aspirational you are, how motivated you are, that is the future. And the people who are ready, the governments, the universities that are ready to invest in the architects of change, if your a scholarship application is selected, you become automatically an architect of change. You are the persons the world has been waiting to solve the innumerable problems that plague our societies. And therefore, they find you worthy to be invested in so that you can be part of the change makers. You can be the change that the world needs. Okay? And this should encourage you. If I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. What is the key point? Believe that you can do it. Because when you do believe that you can do it without self-rejecting, along the way you will find and acquire the capacity to do what you believe you can do, even if you don't have those skills and knowledge at this point. Believe that you will have a scholarship. Know how you can get a scholarship. Do what it takes to have a scholarship. Okay? And the final call for action is, please start now. Even if you are at ordinary level, start writing something based on the questions which we've had. Write something. Try to answer those questions and then keep going back to them over time, over and over and over and over. And by the time you're getting to your advanced level, you will have a pretty good story. Scholarship essays are not written in one night. They are not written in 1 week. No, let me put it better. good or award-winning scholarship essays are not written in one night or 1 week. They are written over and over and over again. Because then when you write and you put it aside and you look at it with fresh eyes the next morning, you have something new to add or to remove. Write a sentence a day, even if you are not motivated. Write a paragraph a week. Start small, but start. Do something. The key is action. Without it, everything becomes just a mere dream. Okay? So act now, because your future depends on it. Okay? Start writing your essays now. All right? I think I have come to the end of my conversation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. So I don't know if anybody has questions for me. I will be happy to get them. Okay.
Please clap. Wow. You see, we needed time. Don't go, sir. We needed time to have such a thing like this. How many of you were like gripped to your chair? Like, what? How many countries have you traveled to already?
4.
And free of charge?
Yes, free. Some they pay me from Bamenda, my bus to the airport and everything.
And there are people here who have never gone to Mashea. Before we leave here today, you write down the countries you want to travel to. And you will take the action to start now. I want to take a few questions, and I would just want to still re-appreciate some people before we move into the next phase. Joyce is here. And like I said, your life will not be the same again. So 3 persons that have a question to ask, indicate your hands. 3 persons have a question, and no question is stupid, none is foolish. Good one, stand. Next person, okay. 2 and 3, thank you so much. Give him mic, and he will ask us question, he will answer, and then we'll go straight away. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Fojiang Emmanuel, an undergraduate at the University of Chang. I'm a level 3 student. Please, my question is as follows. Is a topic needed when writing a personal statement? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. I hope your undergraduate studies are going well. Remember, that is the foundation, okay? Because the competition is, education is like a pyramid. The higher you go, the less the competition. Although it gets tougher, but less people are at the top, okay? So use that foundation very wisely and obtain the best GPA possible, okay? Now, there is no topic. They will not say, write about the day you almost jumped over a fence. No, there's no, I've not seen such, okay? You write your story. You choose your topic. Somebody going for engineering will not have the same topic with somebody going for, say, agriculture, right? It's what you want to study that determines your story. For instance, you said, what are you studying at the University of Chang? Mechatronics engineering, which means that you will have to construct your story around what problem you want to solve using mechatronics engineering. Okay? You first of all need to identify what is the problem and can mechatronics solve this problem. And if mechatronics can solve this problem, you have a story where you will now say, I need these skills in mechatronics to solve this problem in my community. Scholarships are very open. They get a diverse set of students. Though they try to, for instance, Chevening and Commonwealth, they try to arrange the scholarship into themes, but are very wide themes that cover things across many fields. Okay? You need to come with your unique experience, your unique background, and use that and tell your story. There is no single AC. They can ask you, what will you do after this? The lady here will do something completely different from the lady sitting next to her, even if both of them have the same scholarship. But they need you to tell them how, with as much clarity as possible, how you will solve that problem using your experience, your skills, and all of that as you achieve. So bottom line, so far as I know, there is no single question for an essay topic. Well, but I also need to mention that some universities that I applied to, they will give you for instance, a very long essay to analyze. But that essay will be based on that department which is still within your field, right? They'll say, for instance, analyze this, how, I don't know much about megatronics, but how they solve this problem and identify if there is a problem and propose a solution. I'm just giving an example, okay? But they will never tie you down to a single topic like Class 7 AC that look at this picture and write a comprehension. No. Okay? As far as I know, that is not the case. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
My name is Kenya Bestin. Please, sir, I was applying for a certain scholarship. Then we were required to write about 4 ACs. They gave us 4 prompts. The first 3, they were okay, but the last one, they wanted us to write about a certain science project we carried out and the challenges we faced. How do we overcome that? Personally, I never really took part in such projects, so I never really knew how to go about it, whether I'll invent something, because it was just, I never knew if I should take maybe any other project, because science, it was really not the best.
Okay.
So I'd like to know what I was supposed to do.
I don't think I have a straightforward answer to that, but what I know is that scholarships have what they want to fund, okay? They don't want to fund everything. So by asking that question to talk about a science project, it means that the intention of that scholarship is to fund people who've done a science project, probably because they want to train people in science projects. I'm just trying to be general. So not every scholarship is for everybody. Okay? There are scholarships where if you read the requirements, it automatically says you are not qualified. And some of those questions tell you, if you don't have, it means you're not qualified. Except you want to tell lies, which will only end up giving you the heartbreak which you deserve. Okay? Because, for instance, let me give you an example. For the IOE, Centenary Doctoral Scholarship, in which I was selected, they say, for instance, one condition is that you must have obtained unconditional admission at UCL before you can apply. If you're applying when you don't have an unconditional admission, that is done. Okay? You must come from a low or lower middle income country. If you're coming from Europe, you don't qualify. So they know what they are looking for. They know the target audience. Okay? And some can be extremely competitive. Extremely. That is why they bring in some of those criteria to automatically eliminate the bunch. All right? The IOE Centenary Scholarship, which I'm going under, there are 72 low and lower middle income countries in the world, at least according to the UN category, okay? But they needed 2 students. But they say people from 72 countries should apply. 2 spots available. And then they give some criteria in between. So you're like jumping through hoops and bending corners, and so long as you meet the conditions, by the time you get to the end, you are what they are looking for. Okay? Yes, so you must not apply to all. If they say the number of points needed for this program is 25 or 20, maybe 5 points will not help you much. Okay? Those criteria are in place for a reason. And this is what happens. They use what we call ATS, applicant tracking systems. So they ask you to fill certain questions. And there will be a question where you are supposed to say yes if you qualify, and if you say no, the computer automatically deletes your application. So humans don't even receive your application because it is enormous. Imagine processing 102,000 applications. Even if you bring 1,000 people, it will still take months to process that. So they bring in systems to use technology to filter, to select as many, so that what goes through is more refined, okay, for them to be able to consider at the human level. So probably you were not a very good candidate for, as per the conditions that were presented. Maybe they were looking for people with background in science project management. If you don't have that background, automatically you don't qualify, okay? I think we had one question here.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Chipromisawa, and I'm going to Upper Seed. My question is this. I was asking, when writing the essay, what are you really starting? Are you starting with your personal story, or are you starting with your achievements, or how do you really start?
For something like chevening, you hear this more often if you come to Open Dreams, and I hope you qualify one day when you get to your undergraduate because of master's level. They give you the 4 questions and then they ask you to answer them, okay? Career plan, achievements, and whatever the 4 questions are, networking capability, future prospects, and things like that. So you answer as it is arranged like that. Okay, you provide the answers. And even for Commonwealth, they give you the questions. And then if you choose which is better, answer them chronologically. Answer them in the order in which they are provided. Okay? Because the way they ask, they give it in a way that it will give a flow. Don't start with maybe what you want to do in future before you come and tell us who you are and all of that. Tell us who you are. Yes.
To answer that question directly, to the best of my knowledge, I want to say that, like for undergrad, that you people you start with something that is captivating. You start giving a story, and you're linking. You cannot start with your achievement, and at times it will even depend on the prompt that was asked. The prompts can come in such a way that your achievement takes you to your story. So we all have different stories. Are we together? So I don't know that if that's a little bit I have. So you can start a time from a story, and while narrating the story, you get to your achievement and you get to your prospect. Are you getting that? So, but normally it always ends, if I am not mistaken, with your career goals, what you want to be, and you link that from who you are, what you have been trying to solve, to where you are going. So it is from where you are coming from, where you are, and to where you're going to. You get it now, right? All right. We'll end up with the questions now. We still have many sessions. Please celebrate Mr. Neba. Celebrate Mr. Neba for that. Wow. You will be belly full today. And I want to answer her question again vividly. That is why, for those of you, please put Bill Aga's picture on the board. Bill Aga. That is why, for those of you who are still in high school and even in secondary school in the West, be part of TIC Summit, Technology Innovation Challenge. Please celebrate Bill Aga. He is the founder of the TIC Foundation, and he is a coordinator for the Open Dreams in the Center region.